All right, hey South Texas, Meteorologist Andrew Wilson here with an update on some of these strong to severe storms that we continue to track moving through the region. Now, again, if you haven't been watching recently, we are working from home, so sometimes there is a drop in internet. If we do get disconnected, I'll be sure to reconnect as soon as possible. It usually takes me about 1 to 2 minutes. We've got a little bit of rumbles of thunder here in northwest San Antonio, where I'm located. And many of us across the region are starting to hear a lot more rumbles of thunder because these storms that we're tracking have a lot of lightning associated with them. Now, I'm pulling up Facebook now. Be sure to ask me any of the questions that you may have. Right now, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Frio County. That is going to be until 6:30 p.m. This was just issued by the National Weather Service. Pretty good storm down that way. The main risk with that storm is going to be large hail. We're about to talk all about that storm, where it's going to be heading, and the thunderstorms that we're seeing everywhere else, of course. See a lot of people logging on. I'm sure a lot of people in San Antonio are hearing that thunder, just like what I'm hearing here in northwest San Antonio. Not seeing anything in the way of damaging wind or hail in San Antonio itself, just a little bit of rumbles of thunder and a lot of heavy rain. But down towards Pearsall, this is where we have that chance for some of the large hail and possibly even some very strong winds. This severe thunderstorm warning is until 6:30 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and take lightning off. You can see there's a ton of it located with the storm. I'm also going to take this watch off because I want to highlight this hail that we have moving northeast. Possibly golf ball size hail. So very large hail associated with the storm. I'm going to see if I can pick up on the speed of the storm. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm going to look a little bit into the speed. Yeah, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. The National Weather Service saying it has 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible and half-dollar size hail. There's that possibility that the hail could be even larger. Our system picking up on that possibility of golf ball size hail. So I'm going to zoom out just a bit. And let's go ahead and put a path on this storm. Let's put it on the front side of the storm here where the rain starts getting a little bit heavier. We're going to bring it way out to the front here. So Pearsall, you know what? You're basically about to have hail move through town. Go ahead and move those cars inside and make sure you're in a safe place as this storm passes through. So far as areas being impacted by this, or by 6:15, Bigfoot by 6:33. You see that Rossville could even be by 7:05. Divine could be by 6:42 to 6:43 at the high school. So that lets you know, yeah, we've got a pretty good timeline on the storm. That's the towns that are in the way of this as we make our way really throughout the warning period. Now, this storm was pretty strong when it was further down to the southwest, but it wasn't producing that large hail. Now that it's producing that larger hail, that's why the National Weather Service has gone ahead and put that severe thunderstorm warning in place. Amanda's asking, any hail in San Antonio? I see a question about New Braunfels. New Braunfels is fine. Yeah, you've got a lot of lightning up there. You're not seeing any hail, though. A lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain, but not seeing any hail associated with that storm. Also, not seeing any hail in the San Antonio area. Not saying that there's not any. Could be some very small, almost smaller than even pea size. Very, very tiny hail possibly falling, but that's about it. If I turn off everything, I'm going to turn radar off. I'm going to turn satellite off. I'm going to turn lightning off. I'm not seeing any hail anywhere. So if we had hail, it would look a lot more like what they're seeing down here towards Pearsall, but we are not seeing that in San Antonio. We are not seeing that in Pleasanton. We're not seeing it, not even seeing it in New Braunfels either. So that's just a little bit of an update. Again, we're watching this storm near Moore, Pearsall, and it's going to be moving towards the I-35 corridor. Moving along Highway 57. I'm willing to bet it crosses the I-35 corridor, goes up it right there where 57 and I-35 meet. My dog's growling a little bit, so you'll have to excuse me, guys. Trying to make sure he can stay a little bit more quiet. Again, I'm working from home much like many of y'all are. I'm seeing a report of pea-sized hail near near SeaWorld. Monica giving that report. I think it is possible that we could have some pea-sized hail in that direction with the current storm that we're tracking in that area. Again, though, not seeing anything in the way of large to damaging hail, just very small hail that could be possibly moving through. Ali, sit down. Sorry. So we are seeing a pretty good storm just southeast of San Antonio, though. Take a look just southeast of San Antonio. This storm's just starting to get going, and could have some pea-sized hail near Elmendorf. That's moving up towards China Grove. This storm is not severe, just a run-of-the-mill thunderstorm with maybe some small hail associated with it, but that is about it. That's going to be just on the south side of 1604, or excuse me, right along 1604, where that hail could be moving through. Again, we only have that one severe thunderstorm warning. Everybody else just dealing with run-of-the-mill thunderstorms moving through the region. I'm going to take lightning off again because I'm kind of curious how large this hail may be now down just west of Pearsall, because it looks like it's getting bigger, and it is. It's now about hen egg size. So growing in size there near Pearsall. I'm going to bring the radar up full here, guys. That way we can get a better view. So there it is. Again, that's the only severe storm we have now. If you're in San Antonio, you're hearing thunder, you may be seeing lightning, and you may be hearing heavy rainfall. And we'll be watching all that really closely. I'm getting a word from the station. They're asking for a little bit of information here. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, cool. So again, that's what we're dealing with the storm that's just located west of Pearsall. It's going to move on up I-35 towards San Antonio. I'm going to pull the warning back up. There's that severe thunderstorm warning again, just west of Pearsall, and Pearsall, you are included in that as well. I'm not seeing any more reports, guys. If you see any hail, oh, there's a new report. Actual Cheryl, I see your report. I had some hail earlier over here at near 1604. Rachel says, when is it coming near the SeaWorld area? Rachel, it actually has passed near the SeaWorld area already. Some people have reported small hail within this thunderstorm here. Let me zoom on down closer to it. Again, this is not a severe thunderstorm, but this little storm that we have down here closer to Leon, kind of just south of Leon Valley, moving into downtown, that storm may have been producing some smaller hail in areas. We have had reports of smaller hail in areas from that storm, rather. So just a heads up there, some of these may produce smaller hail, but not everybody is dealing with hail from this. It's going to be really isolated areas. The only large hail that we have out there at the moment is going to be for Frio County. That's until 6:30. I'm willing to bet that they're about to make this a larger severe thunderstorm warning. This is moving towards Bexar County. So you see the motion of this storm. It is kind of moving off towards the northeast. That is going to be possibly bringing some large hail towards San Antonio and into Bexar County. Right now, no severe thunderstorm warning for Bexar County. The storm could very much weaken as it gets closer and closer, but know that it does have that possibility of making it all the way to us here in Bexar County. So we're going to watch this one real closely. And guys, don't worry, we're going to be staying on this as long as this warning is in place. I don't want to forget about our friends over in New Braunfels and Seguin. Guys, you just have heavy rain right now and a lot of lightning. That's all we're dealing with at the moment. And guys, I actually have to zoom out just a little bit. They're using us on TV at the moment, tracking those showers and storms moving on off towards the northeast. So they already used it actually. So they've been trying to use some of this system while I'm using it at home too. Remember, Weather Chief Bill Taylor is on TV right now. So if you wanted to watch this on TV, as well as here on Facebook, YouTube, and on our social media channels. You can, but we are also on TV tracking this. And meteorologist Jeremy Baker is actually up in New Braunfels right now covering this too. And it looks like he's just dealing with rain and lightning at the moment, but nothing in the way of severe weather. All right, let me zoom things back out, guys. Sorry, I was trying to make sure I was working with the station on what they were wanting to see. Guys, I told you I was thinking that they were going to issue a second severe thunderstorm warning, and now they have. So there it is for Frio County, and it's extending off towards the north. Just as I suspected, you know, we had that second area where there could be some more hail being produced. You see it kind of in purple there. And that's going to be for Frio and Medina County until 6:30 as well. I'm going to put everything in a pause here. The hail size with that second storm may be even larger now than the original storm that we were tracking. And it really does look like it is. We now have hen egg size hail for that new storm, that new severe thunderstorm warning, and golf ball size hail for the storm that was the original severe thunderstorm warning. Both of these are moving off to the northeast at a pretty good pace. So just a heads up for those. Nothing for Castroville right now. I see the question about Castroville. Gilbert says can't see Zavala County. Not really much of an issue for Zavala County at the moment. That's why. I'll make sure to show it if there's an issue for you. But right now, the main focus is going to be for. It's not even much of an issue for Bexar County at the moment. So our friends in Bexar County, maybe some small hail southeast of San Antonio, but that's about it. The main issue here is going to be for our friends in Frio County, stretching up towards Medina County as well, because we may have some really significant size hail. I think, you know, let me turn this off real quick, because I think that little red spot right there, that's going to be the largest hail possible. It could be tennis ball size hail in northern Frio County, just north of 57 and moving off towards the northeast. So let me get the new track on this. I'm going to list out some communities that are located ahead of this in the timeline for when the hail could possibly arrive in your area. So it's moving off towards the northeast again. I'm trying to get the pace here. 25 miles per hour. All right, so let me get right ahead of the hail here, guys. So by the time we get to 6:21 p.m. Pearsall, you could be seeing some hail in your area. Continuing through the timeline here, by the time we get to Westside School, 6:22, 6:26, North Pearsall could be experiencing some larger hail. Moore could be seeing some larger hail by the time we get to 6:48. You see the timeline there for everybody else, and that's not a guarantee that you're going to see hail. Remember, as we continue through the timeline here, we could see the hail core shrink, but it could also grow. I think that the storm is cycling a little bit right now. We're getting a larger portion of hail, but we'll see if it does manage to shrink, because with some of these storms that we've had these last few days, the hail core hasn't been able to hold together for too long. Much like what we had earlier on today with those storms that were up into Kendall County and stretching over towards Blanco County. The hail core will be strong for a bit, and then it will start to weaken again. So hopefully that continues to be the trend with this storm. And as it gets closer to the I-35 corridor, I'm hoping that hail core shrinks. You know, we already had one storm earlier on, this original severe thunderstorm warning. This hail core has shrunk big time compared to what it was just a short time ago. I'm going to run it back a bit, see how large it was there. And then that larger hail core kind of shrunk, and then this new hail core kind of formed out ahead of it. And this new hail core is now the larger of the two. So I'm hoping that it will continue to cycle, and maybe we can get it to weaken again before it approaches more populated areas. So I'm going to actually zoom down a little bit closer to this This is north of 57. I'm going to see if I can get some better town names. Freetown. You're likely getting hit with very large hail at the moment. This is probably golf ball to tennis ball size hail. This storm is going to continue through, and it looks like it's going to hit just a lot of areas out in the county, just north of 57, North Frio County, South Medina County, and it looks like it'll stay just north of 57, eventually approaching 173. So not too much of a concern, except for those who are in those more rural areas of Frio and Medina County, North Frio, South Medina. Ralph says, where's the hail? We're talking North Frio, South Medina County. This is southwest of San Antonio. If you're newer to the city, you'll notice that this is where it is. Here's the thing. These storms could very well weaken before they arrive in San Antonio, but if they continue off to the northeast, we could see a little bit of hail here in San Antonio. Just be on the heads up for that. We're watching them closely. They're still more than an hour outside of San Antonio, so not a huge concern right now for Bexar County. Right now, the main focus is going to be for Frio and Medina. This original severe thunderstorm warning, I'm willing to bet they're going to let it cancel, just because the hail core isn't really within this severe thunderstorm warning anymore. It's this secondary one where we're seeing this storm that is the more significant part of the storm now. So we'll see that closely and see if the National Weather Service agrees and ends up canceling that warning. There are no other warnings. We do have a lot of lightning with these. Let me go ahead and turn lightning back on. That's another reason to stay indoors. Remember, when thunder roars, go indoors. We don't want anybody outside with lightning. It can be very dangerous. We want to make sure everyone stays safe as these storms continue through the storm that is southwest of San Antonio, North Frio, and South Medina County. I want to show y'all how much lightning is within that storm within the last 15 minutes because they've had a ton of it. These storms have been very electric today. They had a very strong storm move through Williamson County earlier on, which is just north of Travis County, where Austin is located. If you continue up I-35, you eventually go into Williamson County, and that's where Georgetown and Jarrell is, for those who are unfamiliar with the area. But they had a very strong storm move up through there. Right now, we have 342 lightning strikes, 344, the number changed in there, but more than 300 for that storm that's in North Frio and South Medina County. So pretty good storm. Again, lots of lightning associated with it. The severe thunderstorm warning going to continue here until 6:30 p.m. So we still got about 20 more minutes with this storm. And Weather Chief Bill Taylor, by the way, if you're not watching Ken's 5 right now, I've got it up in my apartment. He is currently on talking about this storm and some of these stronger to severe storms as they pass through. By the way, you know, as we continue to talk about this, let's go ahead and jump into what else we're dealing with. Right now, it's a big complex of storms in East Texas. We definitely don't have as much here in South Texas, but we definitely do have a few really strong storms moving through. I see a question. Cynthia says, is it going to hit Hondo? The answer is no. Juanita says, would it hit Del Rio or Brackettville? The answer is no. These are going to be staying away from those areas. Right now, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch for a majority of the region, but you see some areas not included, like Bandera, Kerr, Kendall, Blanco. Your severe thunderstorm watch has been expired, or canceled. Everybody else, pretty much, you see outside the hill country, currently under severe thunderstorm watch. So that's until 10 p.m. We still have that risk for strong to severe storms. Again, we had that enhanced risk for severe weather today, so we're not surprised by these storms. We've been talking about this for the past few days. As far as the timeline is concerned, let's go ahead and break it down with the future clouds and radar, because everyone wants to know, hey, what could be going on? By the time we get to 6:30 p.m., we could see these storms starting to really move through San Antonio. Notice down towards Cotulla, could have some more thunderstorms form. Just there south of Cotulla, where you're seeing that pink dot, that could signify that we could have some hail located in that region. By 8 p.m., storms continue to develop and really become more widespread east of the I-35 corridor. Now, I think a lot of the storms will start to move out of Bexar County at this time, but notice areas east and southeast of Bexar County. Notice Seguin, New Braunfels, Gonzales, Hallettsville, George West, Pleasanton could have some strong to severe storms in those regions. These continue to move east by 9:30. Things will start quieting down. And then by 10 p.m., really, I think that things will significantly quiet down across the region. That's why that severe thunderstorm watch is set to expire at that time. I'm going to bump it back, guys, to the radar. And actually, you know what would be good to see right now? Let's see if we can get a good look at the sky cams. Here's a look at northwest San Antonio. So seeing some dark skies out there. Not seeing too much of an issue, though. I'm not really seeing anything in the way of lightning. Look at the airport. That's some pretty ominous sky there out at the San Antonio airport. San Antonio airport showing a really dark sky out there off to the north. You can see that we're definitely dealing with a little bit of rain and thunderstorm activity that's moving through the region at the moment. By the way, temperatures in the 70s, you see peaks of sunshine. We had a few peaks there as we made our way throughout the day, but not all of us saw a good amount of sunshine as we headed throughout today. And then down towards Calaveras Lake, you can see the cloud cover as well. Just going to be kind of dealing with these storms here for the rest of the day and into tonight. It will be a little bit drier, though, as we move throughout the day on Friday. Still have a chance for rain, but not expecting as severe. We also saw a few lightning flashes there from our Calaveras Lake sky cam. So I don't want to stay on the sky cams too long. I want to jump it back over towards the severe thunderstorm warning that we're watching. Again, just one severe thunderstorm warning that we're really paying close attention to in the region at the moment. I'm going to turn lightning off because it's covering up a lot of stuff just because there's so much of it. That severe thunderstorm warning is down towards northern Frio County, north of 57, and into southern Medina County. And again, I think this storm could end up missing Hondo just to the southeast. If you're in Hondo, just continue to watch this closely, but I think it'll miss you just off to the southeast. Still that possibility of golf ball size hail located within that storm. You see that little area of purple kind of showing up right in the middle there. That's where we have golf ball size hail moving off to the northeast. Nobody else seeing that, by the way. I know we've got some heavy rain out there. I know that we have a lot of lightning, and then people are hearing a lot of thunder. But no one else is seeing that damaging hail threat other than our friends in northern Frio County and southern Medina County. And honestly, the hail core has shrunk a little bit. That's good news. Notice how big it was earlier. It got real big and then shrunk. If you've been watching here for the last 10 minutes, about 10 minutes ago, I mentioned, a lot of these storms, the hail core will intensify quickly and then it'll shrink again. And it'll go away. And I was like, man, I hope it shrinks before it gets into a more populated area. So far, so good. So we see it shrinking. It may be cycling, and it could intensify again. But so far, so good. We're watching this storm real close, and hopefully that hail core continues to weaken. And let's hope this severe thunderstorm warning can just kind of expire by the time we get to 6:30. But I want to take a look at everyone else. I'm sure a lot of people are saying, man, it's really heavy rain where I am, dealing with a lot of lightning in different places. But I just want to make sure everyone knows, don't worry, we're not seeing any reports anywhere else. And I'm checking in with the National Weather Service right now, seeing if they got anything they are seeing. So give me 1 second, guys. By the way, if any of y'all are in these areas, make sure you tweet at me. Tweet me your photos. I'm Andrew Wilson WX on Twitter. Give me a follow, and then also tweet me some of those photos that you may see, because if I can get some ground verification. If y'all could send me photos, as long as it's safe to go outside and take a photo. Remember, I don't want you to go into a dangerous spot. But if you see any hail that you can send my way, like that you can take a photo of and send my way, it would be greatly appreciated. That way I can have some verification that there is hail falling in some of these spots, because a lot of the time the hail will be melting as it comes closer to the surface, and we won't know for sure the exact size. This is all estimated hail size that we show here. It's not necessarily the exact size hail that they are seeing. Either way, if there's hail or not, here's a great reason why not to be outside. We may be up to 500 lightning strikes in 15 minutes within this storm. Let me check. That sure does look like a good amount of lightning. And you notice how far away from the storm, there it is, 495, getting pretty close to that 500 lightning strike mark. You see how far away from the storm the lightning is striking. It may be in northern Frio County, the storm, but we've got a lightning strike about 16 miles away from the storm to the south. And then you see to the southwest, back where the storm was earlier, still seeing a few lightning strikes as well. Is it going to hit Somerset? The answer is, I think it's going to stay possibly just off to your west. It's going to be close. It's going to be close to Lytle. You notice the storm moving off towards the northeast, but I think the hail core could miss Lytle just off to the northwest. So that's the good news. Those in Lytle, keep a close eye on this, but so far so good. A closer look down towards Pleasanton, Elmendorf. You see that you're fine. This is going to miss you just off towards the west. All right, guys, I am back. I am sorry. Again, I'm working from home. Sometimes the internet drops out, and I may lose y'all for a second. But again, it only takes me about a minute or two to get back up. Thanks for staying with me. Again, we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for North Frio County. Right now, moving into southern Medina County. The hail core continues to shrink. Again, sorry for that delay. The internet's going to be dropping out every once in a while. It's rare, but my internet will drop out, and I want to make sure that that y'all are aware of that, and that I will get back on within a minute to 2 minutes in case that does happen again. So I'm pulling back up the weather computer from home. I'm using this computer that's at the station actually. Just give me 1 second, but. Again, this has been a weather update for those who may just now be tuning in. We only have one storm out there that has a severe thunderstorm warning, and man, it continues to weaken. Look at that hail core just shrink more and more. You see that spot where it's light blue? That's going to be where we have that hail core that just continues to get smaller and smaller. If I bump back the timeline here, look at how big it was. Man, that was tennis ball size hail when it was in northwest Frio County. And now it's really shrunk. This is great news because this is moving towards more populated areas. 173. It's going to cross that area, and then it's going to head closer on up into southwest Bexar County. But guys, the storm continues to weaken. Great news there. We're going to stay on it. We're going to watch it closely. But great news. So I think it's still safe to move your car. I think it's the best idea, just in case. But remember, just make sure you're going to a safe area. Don't be parked up under any overpasses or anything, just because there could be strong winds within these storms as well. Lots and lots of lightning. Not good to be outside at the moment. I want to make sure everyone can try to stay indoors as long as you can, much of like what we've been doing here these past few weeks, as long as this storm is going through, because it is a very electric storm with 500 lightning strikes in just 15 minutes. That is quite a powerful thunderstorm. And I want to just remind y'all again, the hail core is getting smaller, likely still have some strong wind in northern Frio and southern Medina County, but thankfully this storm does seem to be weakening. And I think, did the National Weather Service just remove the warning? No, they didn't. All right, I thought I had seen it disappear, but we had so much lightning over it, it was hard to see. But now, wow, man, look at that hail core just shrink. We're now down to maybe just pea-sized hail within the storm. So that would make it no longer severe. Let me get an idea of, it says about walnut size to grape size. So not necessarily severe criteria for hail within the storm. Still could have some very strong winds. But I'm willing to bet that within the next 8 minutes, the National Weather Service will either cancel this warning or they will just let it expire once we get to 6:30. Still a lot of heavy rain. It's another reason that we don't want people out on the roadways. A lot of heavy rain associated with this storm. If you're about to maybe head out and do your evening commute, for those who do have to go into work today, who have to drive to work today rather, just take it easy on the roadways. This is going to be moving across 1604 probably in about an hour or two, and then moving into San Antonio. Now, the hail core does continue to shrink, it seems. Not saying that it couldn't intensify again, but I'm saying that I'm going to go ahead and say that if it intensifies again, it would be unlikely, but not out of the question. So something that we're going to watch closely with this storm, of course. But I think that as long as this storm is kind of dying a little bit more controlled with the downdraft, as long as the updraft isn't as strong, rather, taking those hailstones, throwing them up high in the storm, allowing them to grow. As long as the downdraft is more powerful and the updraft is weaker, we could see this storm continue to die out, and that could lead to outflow boundaries and stronger storms to form in other places. So that's going to be something that we're watching here over the next few hours. Of course, we're going to be staying on throughout the night, or I'm going to be watching this behind the scenes at least throughout the night, and of course putting out updates throughout the evening as these storms move through. Be sure you follow me on social media, Andrew Wilson WX on Twitter, Meteorologist Andrew Wilson on Facebook. And of course, these updates are going to be going out on the KENS 5 page as well. So if you follow our Facebook page, that's good. You can follow us on Twitter. You can also follow us on YouTube. And I do these updates on the app as well. So every single time we go live on the app, you're going to get a notification to your phone, and you can click it. And when you open it, we'll be right there giving you an update on these storms. So great news. I'm seeing the hail core shrink there in southern Medina, northern Frio County. I'm checking everybody else out. Southeast Bexar County, we could have some pea-sized hail. This is going to be right there near 1604. But the good news is this is really small. This is not damaging hail, likely pea-size, and you may not even be seeing it make it to the surface. It may be melting before it makes it to the surface, but I'm willing to bet you at least see a little bit of tiny hail there near 1604 where it meets 181. That will be heading towards Livonia. So maybe some pea-sized hail over towards Livonia. Gonna go move my car, I see. I mean, that's not a bad idea if you want to move your car just in case, just because we will be having that possibility for a little bit of hail here and there if you don't want pea-sized hail hitting your car. I moved my car up under a little bit more coverage myself. just in case. Just because we did have a little storm intensifying near San Antonio earlier, near Castroville, but that storm has since just kind of moved on off to the east, and it even kind of weakened a little bit as it was passing through. So remember what I said. We could see the hail come back a little bit, something we would be watching closely, and we did. So there was a little bit of a weakness in the hail, and now it's come back a little bit. We're going to watch this closely to see if it manages to intensify again. You see it fall apart there, and then now showing a little bit of that light blue again, which lets us know there still is a little bit of a power to that updraft, causing for some hail to reform. Sometimes these storms, we like to say they cycle. You know, it's almost like they'll come up, they'll go down a little bit, then they'll come up again, and they'll go down. And that could be exactly what we're seeing right here with this thunderstorm. But the hail core is still much smaller, much smaller than what it was earlier. It was huge, absolutely huge when it was in northern Frio County, especially northwest Frio County. Seeing pea-sized hail, winds from all directions, and a lot of water in Yancey. So, yeah, a lot of heavy rain in that area. Pea-sized hail likely in a lot of these storms that we're seeing move through. I got the wrong tool selected there. Sorry, guys. But the only storm that has that possibility of damaging hail is still that storm in northern Frio and southern Medina County. Now, I want to also focus on the storm in northern Bexar County. We haven't talked about it much up towards Helotes, seeing some really heavy rainfall and a lot of lightning. Nothing in the way of hail, it appears, but we could have even some small pea-sized hail, but not any hail being estimated by the radar there. So we still have about 2 minutes left or 3 minutes left on this warning in Medina County and Frio County. I'm still willing to bet that the National Weather Service is considering letting this warning just kind of cancel or expire within the next 3 minutes. We'll see what happens, because the thing is that hail core has come back a little bit, and actually now seeing this latest scan that just came in, you see that dark blue, that could be golf ball size hail. So actually now I think that the National Weather Service is going to consider extending this off to the northeast, and if that happens, Castroville, you will be included within a severe thunderstorm warning. And Hondo, I think you'll be just outside of it. I think this storm is going to be passing just to your east, possibly. But very southeastern portions of Hondo could see some hail from this storm. So just a heads up. But this storm is going to cross Highway 90, kind of just west or just through Castroville. And then it's going to continue off to the northeast, into parts of Bexar County. So let me put back on watches and warnings. Yeah, I really do expect them to extend that here in about 2 minutes. Well, they just let that expire. But guys, you know what? We're going to stay on anyway. Typically, but at this point, we would hop off just because there's no more warnings. But just because I think there's a little bit of hail, maybe golf ball size hail located within that storm, we're going to go ahead and stay on here until I start to see that hail core really go down again. Just because I think that storm could still be worthy of a severe thunderstorm warning. These severe thunderstorm warnings are put out by the National Weather Service, but I think that this storm could possibly still put down golf ball size hail. So let me put a timeline on this storm, where this may be going over the next really next hour or so. You see by 7:01 Castroville, you could be seeing some good size hail in your area. Big enough hail to where I would want to move my car if I were where you were. So that's what we're keeping an eye on. That little hail core. It's a very tight and small hail core. So not even everybody in Castroville. It could just be one little area that could see that larger hail. But that is going to be moving through the Castroville area, and it could still shrink again. Remember, I told you that this cycle, sometimes it could intensify and then shrink, and we saw it shrink big time just a moment ago. but because it's still existent down there, I would move my car if I were in the Castroville area. Still a lot of lightning too. Man, these storms have been electric today. We've had storms putting down 500 lightning strikes in 15 minutes. Those are very electric storms for our region. Typically, we don't have that kind of lightning activity within thunderstorms. I want to zoom out, give everyone an idea what they're seeing where they are. We do have a little shower and storm down towards Cotulla. Nothing severe with that stuff down there to the south yet. We will be watching the possibility for severe weather from those storms that you see are over in Maverick County on the west or on the eastern side of Maverick County. And then we also have that little shower down towards Cotulla. We'll be watching all that stuff to the south to see if it ends up producing severe activity. But right now, nothing severe from that. Is this going to likely pass south of the Helotes area? Let me zoom down so we can get a better idea. And the answer is it's going to be real close. That's why I wanted to get closer. It could very well move just south of the Helotes area, but I'm not going to guarantee it. Because this storm could barely shift off to the north. It could barely shift off to the south. What you need to know is that Helotes, it's possible that this storm could move through your region, at least parts of Helotes, more like kind of closer on towards 1604 area. We'll watch it closely and we'll be sure to keep you updated on it. Again, there's no warning for this storm at the moment, but I think that we could have some larger hail with this storm still. And as long as I think that, we're going to stay on. I'm going to give it a few more radar scans before we hop off. Still a lot of heavy rain out there. Eastern parts of Bexar County, man, you are getting soaked. Look at how heavy that rain is over there in eastern Bexar County, just outside of 1604 especially. Really heavy rainfall that's about to possibly move right into the south portions of Seguin. So if you're in Seguin, heavy rain heading your way, a good amount of lightning with that as well, but we're not seeing anything in the way of hail with that storm. Something that we typically look at to see if the updraft is still really strong in a storm is the amount of lightning. Earlier, we saw about 500 lightning strikes in this storm, and I'm willing to bet that number has shrunk. Wow, 239. That's about half of what we were dealing with earlier. With the amount of lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes shrinking, that lets me know that the updraft in the storm is likely weakening as well, which tells me that hail core is likely about to shrink as well. Because the thing is, the updraft is what the hail needs to grow and get bigger. So that's good news. That's great news. I'm willing to bet this hail core continues to shrink, and I'm thinking that's why the National Weather Service was feeling comfortable getting rid of the severe thunderstorm warning on this storm with the amount of lightning going down so much. They see that the updraft is weakening within the storm. So, guys, I actually feel pretty comfortable hopping off now just because this is looking like just plain old rain for the moment. But we're going to continue to watch it behind the scenes, and we'll keep you updated on it. So remember, you can download the KENS 5 weather app or the KENS 5 app for the latest updates on everything with the radar to what's going on with the news and then all the weather information. It gives you a live look at the radar whenever you're on the go. Our Facebook will, of course, have updates all throughout the night on our Facebook. If I feel like we need to hop back on here, if I see a strong storm, whether it's a severe warned storm or not, this is where I have sat all day. I have watched these storms develop. I've watched them very closely. I've watched all the watches. I'm going to continue to sit here for the rest of the night until all the watches and warnings are done and until the threat is actually over. So I wanted to stay on that storm again just in case. I was watching the hail and I was afraid it was going to start to grow. Castroville, you could still see anywhere from marble to walnut size hail. If you don't want that falling on your car, that's not considered damaging hail, by the way. It is not considered damaging hail. But if you don't want that hitting your car, you may want to move it inside. That's going to be near Castroville and into western portions of Bexar County. I will tell you now, though, by the time this storm gets to you, we could see this hail core really shrink. And it could just be maybe pea-sized hail moving through Castroville. Y'all go ahead and stay safe out there. Remember to continue to practice social distancing. Johnny, I see your question. The answer is no. No hail for Floresville right now. Much of these stronger storms are actually going to miss you at the moment. You probably hear a few rumbles of thunder. If I feel like there's going to be some larger hail threatening your area in Floresville, I will be sure to hop on and tell you immediately right here on these Facebook Lives. Be sure to follow the KENS 5 Facebook page, and I'll be hopping on here throughout the night. Whenever I see anything strong or severe, I'm going to zoom out real quick before we even hop off because I want to give one more look and give everyone one more look. We do have some stronger storms west of Webb County into Mexico. We'll watch those closely. But again, nothing really over our region to be concerned about, and no severe thunderstorm warnings currently for our area. So a lot of rain, a lot of lightning. We're going to continue to track these showers and storms throughout the night, and we'll be hopping back on here later on with another update on the KENS 5 Facebook page, that KENS 5 app. Remember, if you don't have it already, go ahead and download it. Live looks at the radar so you can see where these stronger storms are. And then we're going to be live on our YouTube channel. If you don't follow us on YouTube, you can be sure to subscribe to our page as well. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll be back on here, I'm sure, within the next hour or two with more updates on some of these strong to severe storms.